Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast battle report. Today we have 1,500 points of Death Corps of Krieg Imperial Guardsmen versus 1,500 points of Dark Eldar and Eldar. Let's begin this Maelstrom of War mission. Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast battle report. The Death Corps of Krieg, the Death Corps of Imperial Guard, a foot troop mass of guardsmen ready to run to their deaths with the help of an Imperial Knight facing off against the nightmarish Dark Eldar. So we have 1,500 points. It's Maelstrom Mission 1, so basic Maelstrom. We have the objectives, this ammunition dump, a couple of the ruins in here, very important, probably sacred ground. This bastion, this derelict bastion in the back here, and the high ground where the autocannons are hiding. In reserve we have 2 Hades breaching drills. They each have a squad of engineers with them. They are arriving via tunneling deep strike. The Dark Eldar, Michael Mudd Memorial Army, 1,500 points. Ravager with knight shields, facing off against the knight. 5 Cabalite Trueborn with my Warlord, 2 Splinter Cannons in that ruin, 10 Cabalite Warriors in a Gunboat Raider, and my Grotesques with an Autarch in that Raider as well. The Mandrakes have infiltrated up towards enemy lines, and in reserve I have 2 Venoms, my Witches, they got +1 strength, the outflanking Warwalkers, the Eldar Jet Bikes, a unit of 8 Cabalite Warriors with a Blaster, and my Razorwing Jet Fighter. Warlord traits. Everyone within 12 inches of my Warlord is fearless. And the Imperial Guard Warlord, that is this model down here, he got Conqueror of Cities. So, all these ruins being very valuable to the Death Corps as they advance and try and annihilate the Dark Eldar. So, the Death Corps did deploy first and want to try and go first. For cinematic purposes, the Dark Eldar will attempt to seize initiative. Mitch is my opponent, and let's see if we do. I don't, with a 1. We're moving on to Imperial Guard. Turn 1. And they got hold the line, scour the skies, psychological warfare. The entire Krieg line moved and ran forward. This objective is the scatter field, so they're getting +1 cover, plus their stealth ruins, so they have a 2+ save just sitting in that ruin right there. The autocannons and the knight fired into the knight shielded Ravager, and the Ravager passed all of his cover saves. But this objective here is a Skyfire Nexus, so he kept Scour the Skies. And this one here is a targeting matrix, so they're re-rolling 1s. We're moving on to the Dark Eldar turn 1. There's a lot of Imperial Guardsmen rushing up towards the Xenos threat. We have the Dark Eldar maneuver around. The Ravager shot into the Knight, did 1 hull point, but it was saved. We have Secure Objective 3, Secure Objective 4, and Kingslayer. The Warlord is back, all the way back here, so we'll see if we can get him. Some shooting saw some of these guardsmen die, and then the Mandrakes annihilate a 5-man platoon command squad for First Blood. The Gunboat Raider almost eliminated the entire unit that was out in the open here with the Commissar, the Lord Commissar, and we had the Grotesques disembark from their Raider and make a charge through terrain to annihilate that unit near Objective 6, that is a scatterfield. So moving on to the Death Corps of Krieg, turn 2, and we have 2 Hades breaching drills to come in on the board. One of them has a heavy flamer, and one of them doesn't.
Heavy flamer?
It arrives. And the other one does not arrive. So, moving on to turn 2, and as objectives, we're sitting at 1 point for the Imperial Guard and 2 points for the Dark Eldar. The Imperial Guard have advanced forth. High Command sent them to secure Objective 6. The Commissar bravely ordered his remnant squad to go secure Objective 6 before before he joined the veterans, who then shot at the mandrakes with some grenade launchers and missed horribly. These two units moved and ran 12 inches up to get close to the baseline, while the Hades breaching drill advanced here and they ran surrounding. They didn't do anything else. The Knight forced the Ravager into jinking, while this squad captured objective 2. That is indeed another one of his objectives, and the auto cannons that have now dug in and gone to ground. So moving on to Dark Eldar, turn 2. Reserve rolls. We have a Venom with Witches, and I will add +1 for them to come in. A Venom with a Lamian. I will add +1 for her to come in with the Autark. The Autark?
Oh, yeah.
I will have the Warwalkers arrive. I will have the Razorwing arrives. I'll have the Warp Spiders of Deep Striking arrive, and I'll have the 8-man squad of warriors, and I will keep them off, and I'll have the jet bikes. They arrive regardless of what I do as well. The Dark Eldar reserves have dealt a hammer blow to the Emperor's hammer, the Death Corps. We had the Grotesque charge in, rolling a 12. And are locked in combat with a Lord Commissar and some veterans. The Mandrakes annihilated the 3-man remnant squad, while other shooting saw that unit go down to 5. The Hades drill and a couple of engineers die. The Warp Spiders completely annihilated the Warlord that was in cover. He failed every single cover save. Nothing was done to the Knight, and the Razorwing made short work of the clumped up unit, while the Eldar jet bikes have boosted up to capture objective 2. So I've captured objective. No, I haven't captured objective 4, but I do have ascendancy. 3 objectives that I've captured. Objective 4 is where the Grotesques are, and I did kill the Warlord, so I get Warlord plus an extra D3. So D3 for ascendancy for 3 points, and Kingslayer for 3 points. Oh my god! Okay, well then, on to Imperial Guard turn 3. You have another Hades roll to come in, and it stays off the table. Sweet. It is ready to come in later in the game. The Commissar Lord accepted the Shard Venaris challenge and got cut down by an instant death attack. This unit of guardsmen charged into the Mandrake. They killed one with Overwatch, which means that they are Soul Blazed. So I'm going to roll on a 4+, it continues to burn. It does not, it burns out. And 1 Mandrake is left alive after the guardsmen killed 4, thanks to my Warlord being fearless and within 12 inches. These guardsmen captured objective 5, while the engineers moved up. Plasma pistol that shot at the Venom killed itself. The autocannons killed one of the Warwalkers and put a hull point in another one. It is now only snap shooting, while the Knight charged into the Warp Spiders, killing 3 out of 5, and the others hit and run out of combat over there. So now we're moving on to the Dark Eldar, turn 3. We still have 8 Cabalite Warriors with a blaster to come in from reserve. They arrive. 1 more point to the Imperial Guard, and they have discarded Scour the Skies as they're trying to consolidate the line. We had the Witches kill the unit that was right here. The Autark detached to throw a Haywire grenade. It passed its save. Lance has passed its save. Passed its save against the Razorwing. 1 hull point was dealt from the Ravager, and 1 hull point was dealt from the Warwalker. The Warp Spiders shot into the autocannons, and so did one of the Venoms, killing 2. All the engineers here died to this big unit, plus a Venom shooting, while the Grotesques helped kill this big unit with a character in it to bail out the Mandrake, and this Raider moved to secure objective 4, giving me secure objective 4, supremacy for taking at least twice as many objectives as my opponents, and that'll give me D3 points for 1 point, and assassinate for killing an enemy character. So the last unit of veterans will be coming on the board. make sure you comment down below. This list of just Imperial Guardsmen did very, very well against an Orc army in their previous game, and they haven't had as much luck in this game. So tell me what you think in the comments down below. Let's move on to turn 4. We had the Hades breaching drill and the engineers kill the Dark Eldar warlord and the Trueborn, while the knight charged in and killed the venom to prevent movement from happening, and a lot of shooting from battle cannons tore into this unit, killing 6 out of the 8. They need a morale test, and they are almost insanely courageous. We're moving on. Oh, and the Warwalker died. The autocannon killed it. We're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 4. Let's see what we can do with the objectives. The Imperial Guard did get one more for assassinating a character. And he's going to get rid of Ascendancy, which is to take lots of objectives. And that seems like it's very impossible right now. We had a lot of shooting, and then the Grotesque charging into the engineers with their 4+ environmental save. They finally died. I put one more hull point on the knight. It's down to 3 hull points from a blaster and the lances and a haywire grenade from the autarch. Meanwhile, the warp spiders killed the last of the auto cannons. And with that, the game is a wrap. With a limping knight, the Dark Eldar have taken the victory, and at the end, they have secured objective 5 with the witches. They have killed the unit in close combat, and I killed 2 out of 3 units, so I only get 1 point for no prisoners. So, Mitch, any last words? Mitch here is a Dark Eldar player.
I think I should have played Dark Eldar.
Yeah.
Or brought more knights.
There you go.
Knights seem to have been the way to go.
Yeah, knights are always really fun. But Mitch here plays Dark Eldar. He plays very heavy Coven army.
I love those.
Coven are amazing. So make sure you check down below for the links. Check out the Patreon page, and stay tuned for the Tactical Corner, where I talk about the game in more depth with pictures. This is Skyri, your grateful host, signing out. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye. Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. Well, today ended up playing a foot-heavy Imperial Guard Death Corps of Krieg army. And from the very beginning, playing a Maelstrom mission, it seemed like the Imperial army was going to be outclassed in terms of speed and maneuverability. Now, during deployment, my opponent made the critical mistake of spreading his entire army across the whole table, instead of focusing his army in waves towards the center, not letting the Dark Eldar pick off the flanks, which is precisely what I was planning to do. With the knight all the way on one flank, I was able to send a Ravager over to cause as much havoc as possible, and to make it so that the knight itself would be bogged down fighting one of the only things that would be able to damage it in-game. Had the knight been in the middle of the table, it would have been able to move towards any part of the battlefield it needed. So, as the Dark Eldar player, my plan was simple. Draw the Imperial Guard out to the open spaces and use things like the Grotesques and the Witches to take down the units one by one, while the Venoms and the Warriors provided covering fire. The Mandrakes, although they're not a unit you see very often, have proven to be effective time and time again, being able to infiltrate to key positions, and with strength 4 AP 4 weapons and soul blaze, lightly armored troops are quite afraid of them. Now, they're no slouches in combat with strength 4, and with feel no pain later in the game, they do become better at the battle. My plan was simple: to kill the HQ units to prevent orders from going off. They're small 5-man, 5-wounded units, and I was able to do that with my warp spiders in the backfield, and then to bog down the stormtroopers that were probably the toughest unit in his army with his Commissar Lord. Once again, the Grotesques have proven to be absolutely invaluable to the army itself, and to the tactical use of the unit within the game. Now, all in all, it was a matter of gathering points, gathering objectives, and becoming, moving around. Now, my opponent does play Dark Eldar, and he watches the battle reports. So it was funny to see him know exactly what was going on as the Dark Kin picked his army apart. And he knew what he had to do, but key units like his engineers and reserve roles were just not working for him when it came to the end of the game. All in all, very fun game. We both learnt a lot, and we cannot wait for the rematch that will be coming soon with his Renegade Imperial Guard. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Skari, your grateful host. Skari out.